My name is Rich Longo, Flycast Partners, and I want to thank you for joining us for a little bit different type of virtual lunch and learn today. We're actually going to give you a peek into Ivanti's newest, latest, and greatest Ivanti Neurons. We'll touch a little bit on EPM, then we're going to go into application and device management. We'll talk a little bit about ISM and ITAM, and this is all being presented by Flycast Partners' very own Bobby McCullough and Kyle Hamilton. The two of these gentlemen have decades, several decades of experience behind them and have been involved in many different types of IT technologies. So they've been there, done that on just about everything you can imagine out there. Before we get started, let me introduce you to Flycast Partners. Flycast offers best-in-class implementation services and training in IT service management, IT asset management, IT operations management, enterprise service management, and workload automation spaces, all using ITIL best practice. Our professional service team has well over 5,500 professional service engagements on site and remote. The remote part's pretty important with the pandemic that's going on today. So keep us in mind for that. As an organization, Flycast Partners has over 1,100 regular customers throughout Canada and the United States. I encourage you to reach out to us at 844-FLYCAST, that's 844-359-2278, or you can visit our website at flycastpartners.com and chat with one of our experts right there during normal business hours. They're standing by for you to answer questions, provide you with material or whatever that might be. I encourage you to check out our website and look at upcoming events and training and download white papers and data sheets. And for today's event, we will be taking some questions throughout the presentation. All right, so please type your questions in the questions section of this GoToWebinar. I'll read them off to Kyle and Bobby at the appropriate times. So take some time to do that. All those of you that attend today's webinar within the next 5 business days will receive a gift card from us for attending. So we appreciate you attending today, and we hope you get a lot out of it. Now, with that being said, I'm going to turn this over, and Bobby's going to get us started. So, Bobby, I have just given you control, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. As Rich said, we're going to sort of give you a high-level overview of the Ivanti suite, starting with the newest product we're very excited about from Ivanti, Ivanti Neurons. And so Ivanti's mission really is to integrate IT in all of these areas that you see listed here on the slide. Their goal is to build a foundation so that you're able to self-heal, self-secure, and provide self-service within your organization. And this Ivanti Neurons is our latest movement into that area. Sort of think of it as a digital FTE that's working with your organization. So it's able to provide comprehensive discovery, automation bots for healing, instant status with edge intelligence and more, which we'll go into. But really, Ivanti Neurons is sort of designed to sort of sit across your IT enterprise, allow you to bring in data from all of these solutions, whether or not they're Ivanti or from somewhere else, which we'll see here in just a little bit. Slide here. So, neurons for discovery. So this is where Ivanti Neurons is a cloud solution, and so it doesn't have to be on premise, and it's able to scan your environment with both active and passive scanning. It's going to be able to get inventory for both hardware and software, but we've also got third-party connectors. So, a lot of organizations, you've got multiple discovery solutions. They're probably provided from the vendor where you purchase the technology, and that causes some issues having those siloed solutions. The Neurons allows you to bring that data together, normalize it, transform it, and reconcile it, and does it very, very easily for you here, as you can see from this dashboard. Also, smart advisors, where when it understands what's going on with your data, it's able to provide some suggestions for for changes and optimizations that you might make within your environment. It also is going to provide data for your CMDB or your asset management system. So workspace. So this is the area of neurons that your staff would be really utilizing, your analysts. They're able to get a 360-degree view of all their devices, able to see that in an aggregated, federated, and normalized format. So you're able to see it the way you need to. You're going to be able to get to real-time data. If you need something from some critical device that's in your environment, you can grab that. You're going to be able to execute actions, things like scripts, understand outages, kick off a reboot, understands patch statuses, all those type of things on those critical devices within your environment, as well as user views where you can reset passwords, unlock accounts, and things like that. Neurons for the edge. This is where it's real-time intelligence through your entire organization, MQTT to understand those message queues. Sensor-based, so you're going to have agents out to be able to provide this intelligence. Be able to query those machines in real time. Usually, it takes about 15 seconds to get that information back. Built-in dashboards to help you understand what information you're getting back, including trending, as well as access to those real-time actions so that you can do something immediately right there on those devices. And so, customers a lot of times find that proactively monitoring something as simple as drive space and health of a machine, they're able to drive user experience, increase customer experience, enhance it. And that's really where Neurons for Healing comes in, where you're able to get that intelligence back and understand what's going on in those environments. And for something as simple as drive space, keeping up with that and understanding that and ensuring that there's enough drive space, maybe for software and patch deployment. Doing that's going to increase success rates and then help drive customer experience. So very, very helpful tool within your environment, really expanding across the entire breadth of what's going on. And again, it's that digital FTE, a brain in a box for you that the system is out there keeping an eye on your network, so you don't necessarily have to. So again, Neurons sort of comes in four flavors: discovery, workspace, edge intelligence, as well as healing. And so these are offered individually or all together as a package. So our next item here, we're going to talk about endpoint management, self-healing. I'm going to turn it over to Kyle now. Kyle, if you'll let me know when I need to move the slide, we'll let you take over.
Okay. Why don't we go ahead and knock it to the next one and we'll get going. All right. So when we talk about managing your environment with the Ivanti tools, endpoint management is inevitably going to come into the conversation where you're looking to manage the user environment from a desktop, laptop, or server perspective. And that starts with being able to collect and capture a good inventory so that you know exactly what you have deployed within your environment and how it's configured, what it's running, what kind of software it has installed, what kind of versions it's running, things like that. So you can manage that endpoint environment very tightly. So with Ivanti Endpoint Management as a part of the solution, it gives you the ability to do an in-depth discovery on your network so that you've got a good inventory of everything that's in your estate so that you know exactly which devices are out there and deployed, who's using them, how are they configured, what kind of software and configuration are they running, and you can actively manage that configuration through endpoint management as well. Go ahead to the next slide, Bobby. And part of that administration, that management, is inevitably going to involve patching, whether that be patching for the OS, patching for the desktop applications, including your third-party apps, things like Adobe and Java and Flash and Firefox and Chrome and Google and on and on. So with the endpoint management solution, you have the ability to set up automated jobs where we can automatically collect and download that patch content and that metadata related to those patches. We can scan, as a part of that discovery process and inventory process. Not only do we collect the hardware inventory and the software inventory, but we collect the patch inventory. So we can tell you, for each device endpoint you have that you're managing within your environment, which patches are installed, which patches are missing that are available for that OS or for those applications or for that device. And you can set up automated jobs so that not only can we automatically download that content and then deploy that content out to those endpoints on a schedule that you define, but also to be able to manage the hardware environment. If you're dealing with HP, if you're dealing with Lenovo, if you're dealing with Dell, we've got connectors that allow you to connect directly to those vendor repositories. So not only are you able to patch, your desktop apps like Java and Flash and Firefox, but you're able to also patch the hardware for those vendors. So being able to patch your Lenovo laptop BIOS or your NIC card or your video card updates, as well as those for HP and Dell, so that we can help automate not only the management and the patching for the OS and for the applications, but also for the hardware itself. So with endpoint management, we can help you collect the information that you need to understand how the environment's currently configured, what's deployed, what's currently in use, and what's currently running, but then allow you to choose, when and how you want to update those applications, when you want those patches applied, which patches are applicable, and to which devices you want them deployed, so that you can manage that environment very tightly and have a very fine-grained level of detail that will allow you to drill into the configuration for those devices, both at a hardware, software, and patch level. Let's go to the next slide, Bobby.
Kyle, is endpoint management cloud or SaaS or on-prem? What's the deal with that?
It's available either way. So now there are some minimums when you're talking about the SaaS environment. I believe they've got 1,000 node limitation on the SaaS version. But if you've got, if you're looking at that 1,000 minimum nodes and looking to go cloud, then we can easily host this. So it's available in either flavor. If you're looking to run it and manage it locally, great. You can deploy it, install it, and run that software in your own data center. If you're not looking to manage and deploy another application, then Ivanti can also host that for you. So you've got options there in terms of how you want to deploy that, whether you want to run it locally, whether you want Ivanti to host it, or you can even choose to, install the software on your own into AWS or Azure. And of course, if you want to, put it up in some hosting service on your own. So there's multiple flavors that are available depending upon your environment and what you're looking to deploy. So with unified endpoint management, the real goal is to provide you visibility into your environment, to let you know what you have to manage, what's out there and running that you need to worry about, as well as allowing you the flexibility of how you want to control that user environment. It gives you easy drag and drop controls to be able to deploy software, makes it very easy. There's even packaging tools that are available from Ivanti that can speed up that packaging process. So if you're deploying a lot of desktop applications, server applications, and things like that, we can also provide some tools that will help you speed up that process. So you can implement packaging solution, they call it Package Studio, so that rather than spending weeks or months building software packages to deploy, it makes it a single click of the mouse to be able to download and deploy those MSI installs or those package installs, and be able to deploy those throughout the environment and be able to control that user experience to a very tight degree by controlling the configuration of those applications you deploy. It gives you the ability not only to visualize and see all of the collected detail, terms of who's running what software and OS and versions and things like that. But also gives you very easy control to be able to administer and manage those environments so that you can lock that desktop down, and then you can drive everything through that endpoint management agent running on that desktop so that you can easily lock down your environment and prohibit users from being able to install applications or modify their own configuration, but force everything to go through IT so that you don't have people going out of band and installing things, direct downloading and installing things directly from the internet that could cause problems or could create a situation that you have to resolve, and gives you very tight control over your network and your environment in terms of what's running and how it's configured and how it communicates. Next slide, Bobby.
So security. So Kyle actually touched on that a bit. The patching capability of Endpoint Manager. Endpoint Manager is a bit more expansive than the Ivanti ISEC or security controls solution. Security controls is really focused on server patching, less so than maybe the workstation environment like Endpoint Management can focus on. But it's a very widely used solution for governments, highly regulated industries, where you need control over that security control over that patching environment. But it also includes application control as well, so that or has available application control so that you're able to determine what applications can be run and in what context, and provides a very easy method for rolling that out within your organization. When you start talking about locking down applications, people can get really upset and concerned about that. We do it in a way that it really doesn't touch the user. We analyze what's going on first, and then we go in and begin locking down from based around that analysis. But the security control solution really is just focused on the patches, both for Windows and Linux. It's great for disconnected environments. Allows you to, again, it's not just operating system patches. It also it's the same third-party library that Kyle was showing over in Endpoint Management. And it's a full-featured tool, again, OS and third-party patches. It'll do both agent and agentless. It is an on-premise solution, but it integrates with Neurons, integrates with Ivanti extraction as well.
Bobby, one thing I was going to mention is for those customers that may already have a patching solution, maybe using something like SCCM, this is something that could be complementary, right, or additive to your current solution. So it doesn't necessarily, it's not a rip and replace, but it can be something where we can easily add that third-party patching on top of your existing SCCM capability or existing patch capability. So we can take your existing patch capability you have today and enhance it for those third-party apps like Adobe and like Java and Flash and things like that, so that you don't necessarily have to rip and replace your entire network and your management software, but we can simply add in that third-party capability if that's something that you guys are lacking.
That's good, Kyle. Thank you. So a little more though about application control, or I'm sorry, device control. So again, sort of a security focus for those highly regulated or government entities, where you've really got to lock down your I/O devices. We really give you an easy way to roll that out. The ability to easily turn on by exception what devices you want to allow, and the whole idea is so that when someone connects something to your environment, you're gonna get a notice. You want to encrypt it if you want to require encryption, or it's not allowed. You're going to be able to shadow what's coming in and out of those ports, and keep a forensic copy of that data transfer. So whether it's printing or transferring something through a modem, the USB file, whatever, you're able to control that, determine what people or groups within your Active Directory are going to have access to that, and easily implement device control within your organization.
And that can be automated too. So with the device control, with the USB keys, this is an example. You may want USB keys to be available unless they're connected to a certain database, or they're connected to maybe if they've got a network connection. The minute the network connection comes online, we can then disable their USB key. So they have no ability to transfer anything off of the network into, a CD-ROM or USB drive or some type of thumb drive or, external hard drive, so that you can tightly and granularly control what kind of data and information is available and accessible, and what can they do with it.
Yeah, and Kyle, those are great points. It's really sort of a set it and forget it kind of tool. You work through the implementation of it, what you're going to turn on and allow access to, and then for the most part, at that point, it becomes a forget it kind of tool. It's just going to go out there and keep your network secure. So next, we're going to talk a bit about enterprise service management. So really, today's call really is focused around some of those first levels of security controls that you might have need to have within your environment: service management, asset management, endpoint management, and device and app control. So within service management, the idea with service management is it's not just for IT anymore. It's really an enterprise service management. Other organizations, facilities, HR, telecom, those groups can really take advantage of the workflow and notification, process engines within service management. And then you're able to provide that Amazon experience to your end users. They have one portal to come to, whether they need a light bulb changed or they need a new PC. They've got one place to go to get that, just like they do when they go home. That for 20 years now, they've ordered things from home, and those things have been as varied as a book to maybe a screwdriver or cereal. And so there's just anything is available really from the Amazon portal, and that's sort of the idea here with enterprise service management. Any type of request that you might need to make within your organization, you can make within a service management tool. And then we can, like I said, apply that process, notification, and workflow management to what's going on in those other business units. Maybe sometimes the request involves multiple business units, like a new hire. That's going to involve HR. It'll involve telecom because they're going to need a phone, facilities, they're going to need a desk. And so you're able to bring those groups in, notify them individually from your IT groups, IT teams, and manage the tickets from that way. So speaking of those workflows, that's really one of the key things that Ivanti Service Management brings, is the workflow engine, where you're able to govern your process, whether it's a ticket, whether it's a request, a problem. In this case, it's a change management process, and incorporate approvals into that process, workflow tasks, so that the work for a particular ticket or item that you're managing can be broken down by tasks, and then separate those tasks out and notify the individual teams. All of those capabilities are available here from the workflow, including automation. So you need to kick off some script to run, or for instance, from an ESM or enterprise service management perspective, maybe you want to allow your users to come in and request a particular software application. And so that can be defined in Endpoint Manager in the provisioning for a particular software package. And then we can make the request through service management. And if that process normally requires that person's manager to approve it, then we can send that automatically to the manager for approval. They can reply to the email, they can click a link and approve it. But either way, it gets approved. And in this instance, when the software application is approved, it can be automatically installed. So very, very quick response, allows you to be proactive, allows you to really provide that Amazon-like experience to your end users.
And I was going to add here, Bobby, that also that Visio style workflow that he showed, that provides drag and drop control over that workflow. So in that toolbox that you see on the left-hand side of that screen under the actions window, those are all the actions that you can take within that workflow. So each one of those blocks that you see under that action section can be simply grabbed and drag that action out into that workflow to add another step, where there's another approval, another task. Maybe you're looking to pass data to an external application. You can run external programs and web services. It gives you a lot of granular control, but you can do so in an easy drag and drop format.
Yep. Thank you, Kyle. So Ivanti Service Management is Pink Verified certified in 15 ITIL best practices. It integrates with leading industry solutions. So you've already got discovery tools or your ERP program or something. We're likely to be able to integrate with it. Already have an integration available. There's an open API for anything that it's not already an integration is not already available. It's a flexible solution, so you can deploy it in multiple ways, cloud, on-premise, or mixture. There is a SaaS offering for it. You can access the tool from the desktop, from a web browser, mobile device, fixing concurrent licensing. And really, to me, one of the biggest advantages of Ivanti Service Manager is what's available out of the box, because that really gives you faster time to value on the Ivanti Service Management solution compared to some other service management solutions. Nearly 100 service catalog items available out of the box, nearly 100 standard reports available out of the box, data visualizations and extraction for every area of service management already available out of the box. So what that means is you're going to get your system up and running quicker, and get use out of the system faster, which is a faster time to value. So we want to talk a little bit about assets. So in that, those device control, so security controls we were talking about, asset management is a key part of what happens with service management. Asset management really is more than just what you've got, where it's located, and who's responsible for it. That's sort of the physical side of asset management, but asset management also covers the financial side. So, what did we pay for it? What did we agree to pay for it? Who did we pay? Who did we buy it from? What was that process like? All of that type of information can be captured within asset management, so that you're able to understand the life cycle of all your assets. You're able to understand total cost of ownership for your assets, which assets are being utilized. So really prepare you for budgeting along with asset management, and so that you're able to understand what next year is going to look like based on on how things have gone for this year. You're going to be able to apply governance within asset management. It's whenever I talk about asset management, one of the little stories I always tell is Westerns are fun to watch, but back in those days, people got killed. And so the Wild West is not the type of actions you want to use for your assets. You want to govern what assets can be requested. Governing those assets helps you limit training that you have to do internally and the support that you have to provide so that you're standardized on particular assets. So the Ivanti Asset Management solution allows you to cover that, provide that governance through your system. And then here we're looking at the contract side, the financial side of it, so that you're able to keep up with contract management, vendor management, order management. You can integrate with your provisioning system if you have another system, so that the idea sort of is that your asset staff have a single pane of glass to get all of their answers, so that even if some part of their asset management process maybe occurs in another system, we can use the open API to integrate with that other system, so that everything that they need is available right here within asset management. Asset Manager is built on the service management platform, so we have all the workflows, notification, and process management of assets that we have over on the service management side, and it really is a part of the service management tool. It's just a different role. We use the roles to determine what you can see and what you can do to what you see within the tool, and asset management just becomes additional roles within that part of the solution. So again, asset management, like with all of the Ivanti tools, visibility, so that you understand what your enterprise landscape looks like, understand your compliance position, where are you on your software, allow you to understand trends, predict what your spend is going to look like, in flexible deployment and purchase options as well. And again, total cost of ownership. The idea is that we can get you up quick on asset management, service management. The quicker you can get up to the up and running and then production on those tools, the faster you've got time to value. Kyle, do you have anything to add there?
Well, I was going to say that the same visual workflow that we looked at just a moment ago in regards to change requests, that same workflow engine applies to asset management as well. So the same kind of process that you would lay out for a change request process or incident management process can be aligned with your asset management as well. So if it's sending out notifications and reminders about upcoming warranty expirations or support contracts or vendor contracts, those same type of workflow can be built around your asset management as change management, incident management, so that you can, again, kind of lay out how you want to notify and keep everybody made aware of the asset environment, how things are configured and what's coming up for renewals and things like that. And you can do so in the same kind of drag and drop format. So you got the same kind of ability to create a process around managing your assets as you do your changes and incidents and knowledge base articles and everything else.
So Rich, do we have any questions?
You know, I've been watching that the entire time, and we have not had one question today. So, folks, if you've got questions, type those in. And we've got both Kyle and Bobby. They'll be more than happy to answer those for you. I hope that you learned a little bit about what neurons are about, where Ivanti's going with that, and some of the benefits of neurons. We have some future presentations coming up to get a little bit deeper down the neuron path in the near future. That's on our calendar. Here we go. Here's a question. It's a neuron question, so I hope we can answer this because we're all learning about them ourselves. Do you need a CSA for neurons? Asks Brian.
Brian, that is a great question, and we're going to have to get back in touch with you on that one.
Like I said, neurons
very new.
Yep, it is. Here's a good one. They want you to talk a little bit about security, a little bit more about the security offering that Ivanti has.
Sure.
Okay. Security controls. Let me jump over to that. So security controls really is all of our patching solutions within Ivanti use the Shavlet patching engine. So the real difference between EPM and security controls is, what you're trying to do. If you're just patching servers, security controls is really the solution for you. But if it's a little bit of everything, workstations as well, and you want some additional control, EPM has provisioning capabilities as well, where you can design those software packages and push those out through the tool. Ivanti Security Controls is just focused on the patching for both Windows and Linux. It can ingest CVEs. So if you've got something that an auditor or something that provides that exploit document, you're able to import that in and see right away where you've got issues or things that you need to control. The solution allows you to control reboots, so that as a part of the patching process, you're able to kick off reboots. It has support for virtual machines, so we can patch off online and offline VMs and templates. It can take snapshots before the patch, pull information from vCenter, and patch your hypervisors as well. I mentioned a little bit about reboots, so that as a part of patching, maybe you need to reboot once the patch is complete. You also there may be scripting that you might need to perform. That can be incorporated into the solution as well. All of that can be automated on a scheduled basis, so that you're able to push those patches out periodically, or it can be done in a manual fashion. Did that help? You got something specific that I can help with?
Abby, if you have anything else that you want to know about security, go ahead and type it in, and we'll get Bobby to explain it for you. Brian has another question about neurons, and I don't know if we know the answer to this. This might be an answer for somebody like David or something, but are the neuron packages sold separately? I don't know the answer to that. And Bobby and Kyle, I don't think you guys do either, do you?
So my suspicion is that so this slide, this is probably more information than you guys all want to hear. But this particular slide came from a sales-based deck where Ivanti was explaining neurons to the different sales teams, and on this slide they mentioned the fact that there are separate SKUs for each of these areas.
Okay, so I guess you did know the answer to that. Hopefully that helped out, Brian. Abby, did you have anything else that you wanted to learn about security-wise? And does anyone else have any other questions out there for Kyle and Bobby while we still have everybody together?
Yeah, and while we're waiting, just to add to that, so for the neurons, there is a suite price or a package price that includes all 4 of these pillars that you see. But they also provide, as Bobby mentioned, the ability to just go in, and if you just need neuron discovery or you just need neuron workspace, right? You're just going to be managing devices and applications. You can just pick and choose, a la carte, those specific packages rather than getting the suite. So it's available both ways, getting neurons across the board as a suite, or just getting one of the neurons packages.
And for those of you who are really interested in neurons, we've got, I think Rich mentioned this, we've got another webinar coming here in a couple of weeks that's just focused on neurons itself. And we expect to have some good, exciting information in that. So you want to be on the lookout for that webinar coming up.
Yeah, we actually have a part 1 and a part 2 on that. We're going to be digging into neurons and some of the benefits of them. So it's a 2-part webinar we're going to be doing. So we're pretty excited about that. Just came up with that recently. That is happening, I believe, September 17th, if my memory serves me correctly. Let me go ahead and let me look that up real quick and make sure I'm giving a right date to anyone. It will be up on our website. if it's not already, but here shortly. Yep, matter of fact, I was correct. September 17th at 2 p.m. is part one of a two-part series about neurons. So if you're interested, sign up for that event. By then, we'll have all the answers that you're looking for. Brian, we're going to get you the answer about the CSA for neurons. I'll make sure that someone gets that answer out to you. Obviously, Ivanti just rolled this out. Being totally truthful about, we're all learning about it as we go. And I think Kyle and Bobby have spent some time trying to dig into a little bit to learn what's going on with it. I think we're getting a handle on it, but still a couple things that, we have to ask ourselves. So any other questions out there, folks? Well, I think this has been a great presentation. Kyle and Bobby, you guys did great. You touched on a lot of things in the Ivanti offerings there, and I hope that everyone got something out of it. And if you do have additional questions that you're not asking today, I want you to go ahead and reach out to us at 844-FLYCAST. That's 844-359-2278, or chat with us live on our website. Those guys are standing by just for you. They're there just for you. And here's another question. Lee wants to know, is neurons meant to be an added feature to EPM? Good question.
So yes, it is. It's go ahead, Kyle. You were going to jump in.
No, you just said it.
Yeah. It's meant to be. The idea behind it is it's a cloud solution that Ivanti can easily update, and so as time moves on and the data sets provide them information that says, hey, here's something that we could check for in a smart advisor and notify you on proactively, they can just add it into the solution. And so it really is, it's your digital FTE to keep an eye on your system. And being that Ivanti cloud solution, they're going to keep it up to date with the latest and greatest from everything they're doing from their side.
And I think from a development perspective, the end goal is to have a single agent, where they call that the Ivanti Neuron agent, or what have you, that would replace your endpoint management agents. It would replace your ISEC agent, all the other tools, so you have a single Ivanti agent that would be installed on a machine. And then you can plug in security controls and application control and patch management into that one agent, rather than having multiple agents for these different solutions that we've talked about. So ultimately, the goal is to collapse everything down so that we have a single Ivanti agent that gets installed on a machine, and then be able to plug neurons and plug endpoint management and plug those capabilities into that single agent, versus having separate agents for each application as they exist today.
So Lee wants to know, does it mean it doesn't work with on-premise?
It will work with on-premise. You can definitely hook your on-premise systems up to it. We've got to find out if that can be direct, or if that requires a CSA. I have an opinion on what I think that is, but I don't want to reveal that, because I want to make sure I give the right answer.
Okay, good question, Lee. Well, folks, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We got a lot of material put in a short 45-minute period, so that was great. We have a couple of the audience members that have said, Kyle and Bobby, how great of a presentation you did. They really appreciated it. So thank you again. Audience, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us to learn about all these different Ivanti products that can help you make things more efficient within your world. So by all means, give us a call if you want additional information, 844-FLYCAST. That's 844-359-2278. Chat with us or email us at info@flycastpartners.com. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it for today. And I encourage each of you to go look up our newest webinars that are coming up about Ivanti Neurons that are actually right around the corner. So by all means, definitely check that out. Sign up for that in the next couple weeks, and sign up for the two-parter. And until our next presentation or next event, I'm going to ask you all to stay safe out there.